Good evening, y'all. We are in week 4 of our trucking authority, and still we have not received our first check. So today is Thursday, the 24th of October. We started on the 1st of October, and in the contract it says within 30 days. So hopefully within the next 6 days, our checks will start coming in. I will not sit here and tell you that I am relaxed. I am not relaxed. I do not enjoy waiting on the cash flow. But I know logically it's going to work out in the long run. So I wanted to thank everybody because this week we reached 1,000 subs. I appreciate each and every one of y'all that have supported the channel. And I'm planning on doing some cool things down the road. Right now, I'm going to try to just stick to these weekly videos because I'm doing everything on my own and managing the authority and the truck and trying to make videos is a bit much. So I'm going to stick with trying to do the weekly videos. But down the road, I've got some decent ideas to increase the level of our content. And I just hang in there, and eventually I think y'all will really enjoy the channel. So, that being said, once again, thank you for each and every sub. We appreciate y'all, and we're looking forward to our future on YouTube. Now, this week in business, we tried something new. We had to try to get some background information on myself, because you know, not only am I the owner of the transportation company, I am also a driver in the transportation company. So therefore, I have to tighten up my driver files. And I was trying to get some background information from one of the companies that I worked for before, Schneider. And with this company, to get your drug and alcohol history, you have to send them a fax. And I don't have a fax machine, and there's no telling when they're going to send me the return fax. So what we did is I got my wife to call AT&T because we were thinking about getting a landline brought into our house because, you know, we don't have a home phone. We have cell phones. And, well, when she called AT&T, they were like, no, you don't have to do that because it's really expensive to get a landline, and then you have to buy the machine and everything. What we did was we signed up for an online fax service. I have a 1-800 number and everything. They can send me faxes to that number, and I can send faxes from that number. It's like $10 a month, 300 pages is our set amount right now, in and out. So for $10 a month, I can get and receive faxes kind of like an email. You get an account, you go in, and you can print off your papers, you can set your papers in there and ship them off. So I sent my first fax with my cell phone last night. I just thought that was pretty cool because I was thinking that they should have something like that. And these companies that still using fax machines, I think they're running a little bit behind. With the scanner apps and the email and everything that we have now, there's no reason in my book to have a fax machine. But hey, that's just me. Now what you're seeing there is our little birdies. We moved the little birdies from their grow out pen and put them in with the big chickens. So y'all enjoy that. Our office software, trucking office, is getting faster putting in my loads because it's starting to remember my customers that I go to. And, you know, it's already in the system, so it's point and click, pretty quick. I don't have to put in the addresses and phone numbers and all that kind of stuff. And I'm glad because when I first started that stuff, it was taking forever, it seemed like, to plug in a load. And it was just, it's doing a lot better now that I don't have to spend an hour on each load to put in the information. And I'm starting to have enough material in there for my files and my reports. So it's starting to look even better. I knew I would like it once I got started, but I enjoy doing things by paper. Matter of fact, I'm sitting here looking at my paper loads right now, at what I made the last couple weeks while I was making this video. But that's about all we had going in the business right now. Right now, we're just taking loads and waiting on money, tightening up my driver files, trying to make sure I'm ready for that DOT audit. I'm not really looking forward to that at all, but I know it's something that's got to happen. And from what I understand, that DOT audit, the first one, is mainly to come in and make sure you have all your systems in place and that you're doing business the right way. It's not really to destroy you. It's supposed to be there to help you. And that's what at least I've understood from quite a few videos that I watch. But I do live in Mississippi, and Mississippi tends to really enjoy getting their fine money. So I won't be surprised if I don't have some things that I might have to pay a fine or two on. The thing that I was watching on YouTube this week is people are talking about cheap freight. What cheap freight is. And I wanted to give my quick opinion on the subject of cheap freight. In my opinion, you haul whatever you want. It's none of my business. I mean, I also don't believe in a minimum wage. I'm a really free market individual. If somebody wants to go out there and work for $3 an hour, we shouldn't stop them. If a company wants to pay $3 an hour, we shouldn't stop them. If people are willing to work for that amount, then let them do it. All they got to do is quit. We're not forcing them to work. It would be totally different if we had a communistic system that was forcing people to work, and that was the amount that they were getting paid, and they had no choice in it. But you have a choice whether to work for that rate or not. You have a choice whether to haul for that rate or not. If you can't keep your business afloat hauling a freight at a low rate, then that is your own fault. You should not haul it if it will not pay your bills. If it will not make you a profit, you should not haul it. And I guess my definition of cheap freight would be, if it's not paying your bills, it's too cheap. Don't haul it. But if it's enough to pay your bills, to pay your driver, to keep your doors open, haul it. It's whatever you want. And when people start talking about don't haul cheap freight, or we need some designated freight rates, I will argue with you up and down, no way. Just like I will argue against the minimum wage from top to bottom. I do not believe in a minimum wage. I don't believe in everything after 40 hours is time and a half. Look, if you don't like the pay, leave. Go somewhere else. It's that simple. We live in a free country. Nobody's forcing you to work that job. Nobody's forcing you to haul that freight. It just kind of agitates me when people are demanding that a company pays a certain minimum wage to somebody. When if they don't like the job, leave. If you don't like the benefits that the company provides, leave. The way I'm going to pay my drivers, I don't think very many of them are going to leave. I do think that they will enjoy the job with me. Moving on to the next subject that I wanted to cover is you need to change the voices in your head on occasion. In my personal watch history on YouTube, I will unsubscribe from some channels periodically and watch other channels more often than I would these channels, because they are voices in your head, and you don't want to get too bogged down on one person. You want to have opinions from a broad range of intellects, of businesses. Sometimes I will research people that are running a candy store or people that are running a service station. Trucking is not the only business out there. Now, this video y'all are watching now is the big red hen that was in there with those babies. She was beating up those babies. And we had to put her in there with the rest of the hens. And they have to go through this pecking order. She has to go through this trauma of this battle she's going to go through for the next little while. But if they get it all settled out, now everybody lives in peace. You know, sometimes you got to stand for something, right? She was just standing for not getting whooped. But the voices that are in your head are the things you read, the things you listen to, whether it's music or informational videos, the people you're around, and the topics that y'all are discussing. I recommend changing those things up. Sometimes I will listen to hip-hop Christian music or metal Christian music or country or some of the classics and the old-timey gospel. I try to change the things that I listen to periodically, and I try to change the people that I listen to. Because let's say if you watch somebody for a year on YouTube and you decide you want to unsubscribe from them for, say, 6 months. When you go back to that channel, everything's like brand new, and it's better, is what I'm saying. That's kind of how I do it, and I'm sure some people have probably noticed I might drop off the radar for a little while, but then when I go back, I binge watch and I catch up, and the content just seems better and brighter. And I'm not really a fan of the channels that put out too much content. Too much content, you get overload. You miss the best stuff. When they do drop nuggets of information, you're probably going to miss it. And a lot of those channels I will end up kind of not watching because it's just too much. That's one reason why I'm doing this weekly, because I'm trying to do a 15-minute video every week to try to put everything from the week in it, so that if you're listening to it, maybe if there happens, I doubt it, but if there happens to be one nugget of information, you might can gain something. You might can learn something to make you better. And it was kind of like this guy that I was trying to talk to about business today. He's a little bit younger fella, you know, and when I would approach a subject, say rental houses or something of that nature, he would just go on and talk and wouldn't let me get a word in edgeways. What you need to do sometimes is just shut up. Just shut up and listen. If you would shut up and listen instead of talking, you might learn something. Because the things that the guy was talking about and the way he was talking about them, he was on the wrong path. He was focused on buying properties that had fallen short on their taxes. And he was talking about just doing a little fix up and sell them. When in the long term, if you buy properties like that, I think you're better off to rent them out. Because long term, you're going to make more money. Even though, in my opinion, rental properties is slow money. I want something that's going to make my money back faster. Hence, that's why I'm in trucking. Yes, we're overregulated, but if you can fight through the regulations and hold your peace long term, your money will come faster in trucking. That's just my opinion. Y'all can argue it all day long, but, you know, we all need to practice sometimes just shutting our mouths and listening to the conversations that are going on around us, in the hopes that we may learn something or hear something that we did not know previously. Plus, if you don't really know about a subject, it's best not to open your mouth, because then people will know that you really don't know about a subject. Anyhow, looks like the chickens are about done with their scuffle, and my time is about up for today. I appreciate everybody watching. Thank you to my 1,000 subs. God bless, and I will catch you on the next ride.